What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Run with Jay channel. So today we're going to be reviewing this monster here, the Aurora BL from Brooks. When I first saw a picture of this thing, I told myself, what is this thing? And I gotta try it. So here we are. In this video, we're going to talk about the shoe, what it's made of, what it's meant for, if it's worth getting, and see where this shoe would fit in your shoe rotation. So if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. Please hit that like and subscribe button as well as the bell for notifications. And thank you to all my returning subscribers for your contribution and support. So let's get this review started. So this shoe was created in the Blue Line lab of Brooks, which is like their innovation department. And it looks like they just created this thing in the basement with a ton of scientists, like a Frankenstein shoe, and just mix-mash a bunch of things to create this interesting piece of footwear, in my opinion. I kind of like the design. It definitely looks out of this world and nothing like any other shoe, in the market. And I think it's great. I like the colorway. I like, just the, I don't even know how to explain the craziness of how everything is, how the shoe is put together. So, starting out with the specs, the shoe was released in June of 2021. It's got a price tag, like I said, for $200. It's not cheap. And I'm scratching my head to see, after trying out the shoe, why they priced the shoe so high. Maybe because they really put a lot of time and effort into designing something so radical, compared to other shoes. The weight of the shoe is, a surprising 8.5 ounces for about a size 9. I have a size 8.5 here, which is about 8.4. So fairly light if you're looking at an all workhorse shoe. I think, in my opinion, after trying out the shoe, this shoe directly competes with the Nike Zoom X Infinity Run with all that Zoom X foam that shoe has. This foam has that DNA Loft V3 foam, which is also very soft, but a little tad more stiffer, firmer, I guess. Tad more stiffer compared to the Nike shoe. This shoe has a 6mm offset with a 26 in the heel and 20 in the forefoot. So after, I thought the heel would be a little bit higher with all this foam here, but I guess it's a little bit lower. This shoe is made up of a few important components. You have this kind of like ripstop mesh material on top. Feels very plastic-like. Not my favorite, but it's pretty interesting. Definitely breathable. You can pretty much see your entire feet in this shoe, which is pretty good. I think the shoe is actually a little bit large in my opinion. I got a size 8.5, and when I put my foot in, I had so much space that I think I could go down half a size to an 8. So keep that in mind if you're looking into buying this shoe. I think it runs a little bit large, and it seems like a lot of people say this as well. The laces on this shoe is pretty standard. In my opinion, I'm not a really big fan of it. They're like simple cotton laces, and they fray very easily even after a few runs. So that's not a big deal. The tongue is, I don't even know how to describe this tongue. It's like a waistband kind of material, almost like a sleeve, where it kind of like traps your foot inside. While running in this thing is pretty good. I didn't have any pains at the top of my foot. It kept my foot locked, and it wasn't moving at all. So a very interesting design by Brooks with this sleeve kind of waistband material and this waffle weave pattern in the front of the tongue. There's no padding or anything on the tongue, so it's pretty bare minimal. But otherwise, it's pretty good. I didn't have any issues with moving around. It kept my foot intact. The midsole here is the bread and butter, where all the craziness happens. So this is the nitrogen injected DNA Loft V3 foam from Brooks. At first glance, you think this thing has to be like a bounce house. It's squishy, but after running in it, it's actually not quite that soft. In my opinion, I think the Fuel Cell from New Balance is actually softer than this, and I think the Nike Zoom X Invincible is actually softer than this as well. Looks can be deceiving. This looks like a very soft, bouncy foam, but it's actually pretty firm, and it's got a nice balance between firmness and softness, so some people might really appreciate that. For those that don't like to run in a super soft shoe. And this shoe has a decoupled midsole, so it allows your forefoot and heel to move separately, which is interesting. I definitely can feel the difference compared to a full-size midsole where everything's in one piece. You know, some people land differently, or some people heel strike a lot, so kind of benefits them as well. And then the outsole here, basically rubber patterns all over the bottom, and rest is exposed foam. After a few wears, it doesn't look like anything is wearing off. Everything pretty much looks intact besides some dirt. So it looks pretty durable as well. The foam doesn't really crease that much as either. I see a little bit of creasing after a while, but not as bad as some of the foam like the Nike Zoom X foam. So the foam is pretty durable and pretty tough, especially the heel part with where you have the nitrogen injected logo. This foam is pretty sturdy and tough, and if you're a heel striker, this might benefit you because when you're landing on this heel, this thing is super plush and nice. You know, it definitely helps with your feet. And after running in this thing, I barely felt like I ran anything because they're so comfortable. In the heel, you have this entire section it's reflective material, which is crazy. And when you're running in the dark, I'm sure people won't miss you when you got two of these gigantic heel areas that are, you know, reflective material. The collar area, not much padding at all. There's a little bit padding in the Achilles section. I didn't really have any heel slippage, so that was good. So first run in this shoe, I didn't really know what to expect. At first glance, I kind of thought it was a kind of workhorse shoe or a recovery shoe. But, you know, after, you know, changing the paces in this shoe, I think you can actually use it for tempo runs or quick runs. Although, I still think there are shoes that are better suited for those situations. In my opinion, if I were to get this shoe or use it, I'd probably use it for recovery runs and an occasional long run or something like a half marathon where, you know, I want my legs to be comfortable and not, get tired. This shoe definitely will, keep your legs not as, tired and beat up compared to some other shoes with maybe a carbon plate. So this is a very comfortable shoe. It's not a shoe that, that's meant for like super squishy or bounciness. If you're looking for that type of shoe, I recommend the New Balance Fuel Cell RC Elite if you're looking for something like that. I think this shoe strikes a nice balance between softness and firmness. It kind of also reminds me of the Nike Infinity Run 2. That shoe is not as soft as the Invincible Run, but it's got just the right balance where you can use it for a recovery shoe or just a regular run shoe as well. That shoe is actually heavier than this Aurora BL, which is pretty interesting. So this shoe kind of fits in its own category where I really don't know where to place it. But I think this shoe is meant for everyday running, a workhorse shoe. You can race in it if you want to, but I don't think I would use this shoe for that purpose. You can use it for tempo runs or long runs, but like I said before, I think there are better choices for that. So I would probably use it for a recovery / long run shoe. And it's actually, pretty interesting because of the weight. It's actually lighter than a lot of the Nike shoes out there and a lot of the competition. So I think, that might be a big hit for some of the people that are looking for like a recovery or long run shoe. However, I really don't like the price tag of the shoe at $200. I think it's priced way too high. I know this shoe is like a one of a kind, crazy looking, but I still don't know if that justifies the price. A lot of the competitor shoes, like the Invincible Run, cost $180. The Infinity Run costs $160. Even the Endorphin Speed, which is a very popular shoe, that costs $160. So it's gonna be a tough sell for a lot of people to pay $200 for this shoe when you can almost get a Vaporfly for $250 or RC Elite for $225. Endorphin Pro for $200. So I think this shoe would be better priced at maybe at $160 or even at $180. So that's the one thing I don't like. Like I said, I don't like the laces either. It frays very easily. Not a big fan of the mesh upper or the plastic feel. This thing is definitely not water resistant, so if you're gonna run in the rain or wet conditions, your feet's gonna get soaked. Yeah, overall, I think this is a good all-day, all-purpose kind of shoe. I probably fit it in the rotation just as a recovery and long-run shoe. But it was a comfortable ride. I didn't feel any pain in my feet and legs after the run. Just it was comfortable basically at the end of the day. I don't know what else to say about the shoe. It didn't have any like a wow factor or like some shoes where it's like, wow, this shoe is really good in this area or not. So yeah, that's basically if you want a nice, comfortable, all-purpose workhorse shoe that's lighter than a lot of the recovery shoes, then this could be a good option. or if you want a shoe that just looks crazy and radical and doesn't look like anything out there, that'll definitely get some questions, then look at the Aurora BL or test it out as your potential option. So the Aurora BL from Brooks, a nice overall well-balanced, cushioned shoe. If someone looking for a workhorse shoe that pretty much can do everything, and you can also use it for walking, so very comfortable. If you're in the market for a recovery or long run shoe, this is also something to look at. The pricing might keep a lot of people away, but if you want something just totally different from what you've seen in the market, then this shoe might be a good option. So basically my take on this shoe is a recovery, long run, slow pace, everyday running shoe / walking, if you're in the market for something like that. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below what you guys think of this shoe. Is this something you would consider getting, or you think this is too expensive, or you just think this thing is plain ugly? Or if you guys have any other comments, feedback, or questions, please feel free to leave them down below. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please hit that like and subscribe button. So I hope all you guys are staying safe out there and your training is going well, and I'll talk to you guys on the next run.